In this tutorial, we're going to explore how to solve equations that have variables on both sides. Now, to do this, we first of all have to, like all of our other equations, look to simplify each side of the equation. And I noticed by looking on the left here that I do have a distribution scenario. So I am going to do that distribution step. 2 times 2a is 4a, 2 times positive 4 is positive 8, and that is equal to 7a minus 10. So really you can see here what we have is we have a two-step equation being equal to a different two-step equation. So before we can solve this, what we really need to do is we need to do something that's called collecting the variables. And really what that means is we are going to move all of the variables onto one side of the equation. It doesn't really matter where you move it, just sometimes it makes more sense to move it to one side or the other. So in this particular case, I'm going to collect my variables on the left. And so to do that, I need to do the opposite of 7a. I need to undo that term. So I'm going to subtract 7a from the right, and I'm going to balance that out by using the property of equality and subtracting 7a from the left. And so positive 7a and negative 7a, or 7a minus 7a, cancels out. 4a minus 7a is negative 3a plus 8, and that is equal to negative 10. Now I have a regular two-step equation, so I'll just solve that the same way I solve all my other two-step equations. I'll cancel out my constant, and let's quickly simplify that. Negative 3a equals negative 18, and now I will cancel out my coefficient by using division. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, and I'm left with a is equal to 6. So once again, I now have a claim that the solution to this, or the value of a that makes these two equations equal, is the value of 6. But I am going to check that. So to do my check step here, it's a little tiny bit differently because I'm really working with two different equations at the same time. So like always, I'm going to substitute in my value for the variable. So there's the 6 plus 4 parentheses equals 7 times 6 minus 10. And now I'm going to use order of operations. So anytime I use order of operations, I'm just going to identify what to do first. In this particular case, I'm going to do that multiplication step in the parentheses, and on the right, I'm just going to do that straightforward multiplication step. So let's work those out. I now have 2 in parentheses 12 plus 4, and that is equal to 42 minus 10. So once again, I'm going to identify the the next step on each side. On the left, I still have some work in the parentheses, whereas on the right, I just have to do that subtraction step. So let's actually work that out now. 12 plus 4 is 16, and 42 minus 10 is 32. So I can see that I'm done here on the right, but I still have a little bit of work left to do on the left. There's only one thing left to do. And so now 2 times 16 is 32, and that does in fact equal 32. So I am now confident that 6 is the value of a that makes the equation true, or that simply put, that 6 is the solution. So that's how you solve and check equations with variables on both sides. And once again, remember the most important step, or the main difference here, is that we need to collect the variables on one side of the equation.